My name is Matt Sinnott, and I'm a video producer with Encyclopaedia Britannica. Today I'm excited to share a new video series with you exploring timely topics through remote interviews with our editors. Britannica's editorial team is comprised of a diverse group of specialists and experts in a wide array of subjects. We will share with you their knowledge and insights on current events. In today's episode, we'll be discussing how the pandemic is affecting climate change. I would just like to start if each of you could introduce yourself and kind of talk a little bit about your role at Britannica. Melissa, we could start with you.
Great. Yes, I'm Melissa Petruzzello, and I'm Britannica's plant and environmental science editor. So I cover botany, agriculture, conservation topics, that sort of wheelhouse, ecology. So yeah.
And John?
Yes, my name is John Raferty. I'm the editor for Earth and Life Sciences. My area covers anything in and about the Earth, so geologic processes, as well as a number of the various animals on the surface of the planet and different issues facing the planet, such as climate change, and then, of course, conservation issues with Melissa.
That's great. Well, once again, thank you guys for both being able to join us today. Obviously, this pandemic is really affecting everybody. The reason I wanted to talk to both of you first is to talk about how it's affecting the planet and how it's affecting the environment. So my first question would be as simple as, how is the pandemic affecting the planet? Melissa, we could start with you.
Sure. That's a big question, and as the data are coming in, a lot of what we have to say today is anecdotal. But one clear area that it's been affecting the planet is in terms of air pollution. There's been pretty dramatic drops of air pollution in cities around the world. Some of them are, you can see the changes with blue skies overhead, and some are documented with satellites as far as nitrogen dioxide and that sort of thing. And a lot of that has to do with, this societal tragedy that we're under lockdown and humans are dying and suffering. It's not to in any way make light or celebrate the benefits of the earth during this time of crisis. But there's a lot going on that scientists are paying attention to, and it's kind of this global experiment to document and observe the changes that happen when the economy slows to a trickle for a human crisis.
Right, and so you mentioned air quality. Is a huge part of that simply because of transportation? We're not driving as much. There's not, the flights have gone down so much. Is that kind of why air quality has improved?
It's partially air travel. It's partially travel in cars and trucks. Probably some level of train traffic has declined as well, but it's also manufacturing. What we're noticing is in some of the major areas, major manufacturing districts that have also been struck by the coronavirus, such as northern China, northern Italy, and then the manufacturing areas of the US Southeast. We're noticing fall-offs in nitrogen dioxide as a result of the movement of vehicles in moving goods from one place to another, but also in carbon dioxide and other types of gases that are produced by the factories actually producing the goods. So we're seeing a fall-off in both of those areas, which are both contributing to the decline in greenhouse gases and other types of air pollutants.
John, you had mentioned manufacturing. It's great that the air quality is improving, but we're producing more goods. Is there anything in particular that we're producing more of, such as plastic? We know that the frontline workers need masks and gloves. Are we seeing more plastic being produced that down the line could actually be a problem?
Well, I think it could be a problem, but we have to realize that we're still right in the middle of things. And it's hard to get good data on what exactly has changed. I mean, anecdotally, we can talk about how when we go to the grocery store, reusable bags and paper bags to some extent are not an option because grocers are favoring plastic bags because of the safety that is perceived there. There's also increased litter from plastic gloves and other types of things to prevent from contracting the coronavirus in the parking lots and things. So we see those kinds of anecdotal things that may require more plastics to be produced, certainly more medical supplies, use in hospitals. I'm sure there's just a premium on that. But we also have to remember that this is just only a small slice of time within the world's addiction to plastics. The plastic age has been going on for decades at this point, and we are more and more addicted to plastics. We use more and more plastics as time goes on. It's hard to know how this sudden episode is going to play into that. But perhaps after it's over and some studies can be done, we can see if there has been actually an uptick in plastic use, or at least certain types of plastics related to the medical industry, or whether plastic use has changed in some other way.
Yeah, and definitely, to go off of what John said, has been changes in consumption. For one thing, people just aren't going retail shopping like they were, right. But also an uptick in takeout and delivery. All of those foods come in containers that if you had eaten in the restaurant, you would have eaten off of a plate. And an uptick in shopping online when all of those things come in additional packaging that you wouldn't have if you bought it in Target yourself. So there's just changes in consumption patterns at this period, and who knows which will be long lasting. Maybe people will continue to enjoy online shopping in this new heightened way. Maybe people just can't wait to go back to a restaurant and stop with the takeout. So it's hard to say, but definitely there's been a lot of stories of, like John said, the gloves and the masks littered around, and probably we will be seeing those in our oceans in a few years.
I think as a planet too, we've kind of experienced that this virus affects everybody. It doesn't really matter who you are. Do you think that it could kind of serve as a wake-up call to something like climate change? Because climate change is similar in the sense that nobody is safe from it, and we're all going to have to face it together.
I think that's a very good point. Some of the resistance to adopting pro-climate policies, such as transitioning from fossil fuels to more renewable energy economy, and those sorts of things, those have been predicated on the idea that we just can't slow down economic activity and hope to be competitive. We just can't do that. Right. Well, I think this is this coronavirus pause, as I like to call it. This is a proof of concept that we're much more adaptable than we give ourselves credit for. Certainly, many sectors of the economy are hurting. However, we could retool some of these parts of the economy to be less energy intensive, to be more focused, to be more efficient in order to reach some of these climate goals. Long term, coal is being phased out because it's just getting too expensive in the face of renewable energy technologies like solar, wind, and other sources. So it's becoming less competitive. So the writing is on the wall there. It's just a matter of whether we decide to hold on very tightly to old ways or embrace new ones that would actually end up benefiting us in the long run.
Yeah, there's a lot of opportunity here. There's, so many unemployed people that will be looking for work as soon as work is to be had. And, you think, what if they could be trained to, help get more renewables in place? Like, we need workers for that in a better world. And, I was reading a story that the city of Milan is going to be converting some of its roadways into pedestrian and bicycle paths and stuff. And, this is a time where transformations can happen to make a positive impact in the future. And, in a way it's nice to have that break to re-envision what is possible, even though it comes out of a horrible situation of human suffering.
All right, well, Melissa and John, I can't thank you enough for taking some time out of your day to talk to us. I think this is a topic that will be discussed for, obviously probably our whole lifetime. And I hope that I can follow up with a couple more questions for you in the weeks to come.
Fun. Well, thank you for having us.
Thank you very much, Matt.
Thanks.